Biden dropped out of the race and endorsed his vice president.
This morning, still, Democrats cannot point to a single state where Kamala Harris now puts in play where it wasn't before.
Senior Trump campaign advisor Jason Miller tells Fox.
You look at Arizona and Nevada, well, Kamala Harris was Joe Biden's border czar. That's going to be a disqualifier. You take a look at Georgia, Minnesota, where Harris's weak on crime policies will be a disqualifier.
The former president on Truth Social wrote Democrats stole the race from President Biden. Then he's told Fox there should be an investigation into how Americans were misled about the president's mental fitness.
The Clintons say they are, quote, honored to endorse Kamala Harris, and they aren't alone, with 178 Democratic lawmakers following suit with their endorsements.
Fox's Brooke Simon also reports other Democrats have yet to back Harris, despite her raising $50 million already.
Former President Obama issuing a statement praising Biden's work in office without mentioning Harris, instead calling for an open process.
Senator Joe Manchin, who initially had considered re-registering as a Democrat to run, just told CBS he will not. 2 hours from now, Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle will testify at a House hearing into security lapses in the Trump assassination attempt.
Many Republican lawmakers want her to resign. Cheadle says she's happy to come here, saying in a statement, "I look forward to the panel examining what happened and providing recommendations to help ensure it will never happen again."
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson of the Capitol. 2 more Israeli hostages have died in Hamas captivity in Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will address Congress on Wednesday, though some Democrats will boycott, upset over the war's effect on Palestinian civilians.
Meanwhile, the Israeli military's ordered the evacuation of an area of Gaza designated a humanitarian zone. Commanders say they're about to attack Hamas fighters who've used the area to launch rockets against Israel.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. America's listening to Fox.
Donald Trump Jr. here. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back, but you can stop your losses by diversifying into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold now.
Message and data rates may apply.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
President Biden's exit from the 2024 race has gotten reaction around the world, with many leaders praising the job he's done. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky posted on X a thank you to the president for his help preventing Russia from occupying his country. What happens next year? Former President Trump has said he can quickly end the war if he wins.
House Intelligence Committee Chairman Mike Turner of Ohio said on CBS Face the Nation he has no doubt that a new Trump administration would provide Ukraine what it needs to repel Russia. But nations should understand that America is not just an enforcer.
We cannot have the United States just be a guarantor of territorial integrity of countries around the world. We need military alliances. That means they need to be strong and they need to participate. That's certainly what his criticism of NATO has been.
Chairman Turner says the former president wants to end the Russia-Ukraine war and believes a fully equipped Ukraine could force Russia to the negotiating table. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
The world's attention will soon shift to France for the Summer Games.
With the Paris Olympics beginning Friday, the torch procession is nearing its end, making its way to the opening ceremonies venue. On Sunday, a Lebanese photojournalist, severely wounded during an Israeli strike on South Lebanon, carried the torch to honor all journalists killed or wounded while on the job. Christina Assia of Agence France Presse was among 6 journalists struck in October 2023. She was severely wounded and had part of her right leg amputated. AFP videographer Dylan Collins, also wounded in the attack, pushed Assie's wheelchair as she carried the torch. Ann Carrick, Fox News.
We've just learned NBA star LeBron James will be the male flag bearer for Team USA at the Paris opening ceremony. The female athlete is yet to be announced. Xander Schauffele will try to repeat as gold medalist for the Americans in golf. He just won his second major tournament of the year, the Open Championship in Scotland. On Wall Street, stock futures are rising before this week's trading. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news.
Illinois is setting the framework for the new environmental protections in the state. The governor signed a landmark bill into law that creates nation-leading standards for safety and environmental protection for carbon capture. The measure will also drive investments in Illinois, creating hundreds of jobs as companies are incentivized to move carbon capture to Illinois. Illinois EPA holding 10 household hazardous waste collections this fall. One-day collections open to all Illinois residents and operate from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. the day of the event. Events going to be held throughout the state, including in Champaign, Taylorville, East Moline, Decatur, Bloomington, Oregon, Springfield, Dixon, Orland Park, and Carbondale. University of Illinois campus experiencing a significant network service interruption, and a Illini alert was sent out to students and faculty alerting them of the disruption. There was no estimate provided for when the network services were resolved. The interruption is not a cybersecurity incident, but rather a vendor software issue. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Hey, thank you, Jim Miller, and good morning, friends. 22nd of July. We're here with about 10 days before the U of I starts populating again.
Why
I love
did you have to go there?
No, it's great. It brings back all that energy. Man.
My goodness, the summer is flying by, and Champaign County Fair is upon us. Kittyland today is opened up between 10 and noon for Kids Day today and the 4-H Expo that's going on.
Well, Joe Biden's out of the race. That rocked the world. We'll talk about that pretty much all morning. Stand by. We do that after weather, brought to you by Carl.
Carl reminds you, keep your kids at the top of their game and the top of their class. Schedule your school and sports physicals now and make sure your student is ready to shine on day one of class or opening day on the court under the lights. Go to carl.org for details.
Well, it was a beautiful weekend, Mr. Meteorologist Greg Solier. How are you, friend?
I'm fine. I think the youngsters call that, going back on campus. I think that the vibe will return.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And I'll quit going down 4th Street to get to CrossFit because that's pretty easy right now. But won't be doing that coming up. Anyway, it's, hey, man, we got a football game in a week and a month. You got to tell me when you guys are coming down, too, so I can plan all that. So
yeah, I will. We'll check everyone's schedule around here. That was a hoot last year when we came down. That was fun. So thank you very large.
We'll look forward to that again. So, all right, sir. What are you thinking? Beautiful morning.
Yeah, it certainly is. 66 now at Willard and Savoy, 64 Danville, 68 at Bloomington Normal, to 63 at the Kankakee, and 71 under the arch at St. Louis. It's kind of one of these rubber stamp ditto type forecasts here. A little bubbling up in the atmosphere with just a little nominal heat and low level moisture. Maybe shower thunderstorm in the afternoon. Today, tomorrow, slightly better odds on Wednesday with a front trying to push through another realignment of the upper air over the weekend and into next week with one of those hot domes over the southeastern part of the country. That'll be a heat pump northward. So, some 90-degree air and higher humidity late the weekend and into next week. But apart from that, tropics are quiet. Nothing major this week on the weather maps and charts. Up to 82 today. The rain chance if you score it at home this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon at 20%. We'll bottom out at 62 for tonight. A little bit better odds here. 50-50 Wednesday afternoon. Partly sunny, a high around 85. And a quiet, comfortable go of it for Thursday and Friday. Low 80s there. Low 60s at night. Mid to upper 80s Saturday and Sunday. And some 90-degree heat and more humidity scheduled in here for the very early part of next week. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
All right, so we're in the great state of Ohio yesterday. We were at a family reunion. We were starting our process to come home, and I just read a piece on Bill and Hillary Clinton endorsing Joe Biden. I said, that's going to drag out another week. I had said for, 18 months? It's not going to be Joe Biden?
In fact, there's a text in from Jay yesterday, so must have just thought about it, heard it, and said, Stevie J, you called it. Biden out. Democrat Party, a mess.
So we're on the way home, and I read this article. Bill and Hillary endorsed Joe. I said, this is going to drag it out even more. But they were at the 3-week limit of it could be easy or it's going to be hard, which is what Joe Biden was told. Joe Biden, by the way, extraordinarily angry with all the people that he's been buddies with for 50 years have turned their back on him. And the 14 million people that voted for Joe Biden in the primary, what does that mean? Why did they get rid of him? Well, he can't win. It has nothing to do with his capabilities. And they thought he was useful because they thought he might win. He did last time. We'll just kind of, I don't know why it was so obvious to me that he wasn't going to be the guy, because he wasn't capable. I mean, we've seen it at assisted living homes. I mean, these are people that are getting old. And for them to say, well, you're just doing fake news and you're doing all these things to... No, you were propping him up.
Yeah.
And it was a disservice to the Democratic Party to not have a vigorous primary. But no, they said, he's our guy. He's sharper than ever. He just runs circles around us. And you're going, no, he doesn't.
Until we saw the debate and then the news
But
conference.
it's fascinating to me why they put him out, obviously the earliest debate in the history of debates. They put him out massively early. Why? Well, we want to make sure he's... Why did CNN, who got a coup by getting the debate, I've never seen it in my life where a network gets the debate that could actually draw viewers for CNN, share it with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just show you what we've got so we can finish this once and for all. They knew. That's why I kept playing that independent. You knew, but you did nothing. I mean, it was just so obvious. So anyway, after the Clintons article, I said, okay, so this will drag out another week because I always thought that it wasn't going to be Biden. But then I started doubting and going, well, maybe it will be because maybe he's going to hang on because he's stubborn and all these things. But he had been told in no uncertain terms, you can do this easy or we can do this hard. And the hard was coming. And the hard would have been no legacy, no library, no anything for you, buddy. And I'm sure it would have been even more... I thought it's come straight to, we got stuff on you, guy. I mean, we all have stuff on each other. And if you want to come out and look like a hero, then you got to go. So after the Clinton article, about half an hour later, Janet's saying Biden's out. I said, what? What? Then Clinton's just, and he endorsed Kamala Harris, his vice president, which there are lots there to work with from the standpoint of opposition research.
Well, and I'm reading something that says Obama's full statement on Biden dropping out, and it doesn't talk about endorsing Kamala.
He's not. There's no endorsement from President Obama. There's no endorsement from Nancy Pelosi. There's no endorsement from Chuck Schumer. There's no endorsement from Dick Durbin. There's no endorsement from the minority leader for the House, Hakeem Jeffries. What's that tell you? I don't think it's going to be Kamala. Well, she already has 50 of the chairs from all the states in the Democratic Party endorsing her. She got $49 million raised yesterday. She has $91 million from the Biden coffers that she gets access to.
Wow.
But what does it tell you when President Obama doesn't jump and endorse when they knew this was coming? This is what they have to do. For the DEI, diversity and equity, you have to appoint the vice president as your person until you don't. Aren't they going to have kind of an open... I mean, Obama's pushing for an open primary. Joe Manchin last night said, I might be a Democrat again because I'm independent, but I might re-register to throw my hat in the ring. Joe Manchin. He says, I want to get the country back to the center. And I like Joe Manchin. A lot of people like Joe Manchin. He did a lot of big things. He kept the Supreme Court from getting packed. He kept the filibuster from going nuts on us. He was the guy. He and... Kristen Sinema from Arizona, they held the line against the radical left. So who doesn't like Joe Manchin? I think he's a good guy. But the Democrats are going to nominate him. The Democrats, you'll lose all the progressive, which is a growing number in the party. So I don't see somebody, quote, normal like Joe Manchin getting much time. Just I think Robert Kennedy Jr. says, hey, it's a he's a two-man race. So I don't know if it looks like Kamala has an edge because she is the incumbent. However, there's a lot there, Borders are. What happened with that? That's a big problem.
Yeah.
She's the one that got the guy out of jail. She was bailing out people on the Black Lives Matter stuff. She got money to bail the guy out that later committed murder. And now he's in life in prison. There's just a lot. The bottom line is this, and we'll talk about it. What changes? Do you like the policies of Joe Biden or don't you? And if you do, then you're good. If you don't think we're headed in the right direction, then you're not good. Kamala Harris is the same direction. It's Biden-Harris. If you get somebody else on there that changes the dynamic, saying, well, Biden didn't do very good, you can do that. But if you've got Biden-Harris, it's the same thing. I got border concerns. I got inflation concerns. I got crime concerns. Pick a subject. There's concerns. And I don't think anything changes with Kamala Harris, but maybe I'm wrong.
You can always chime in, 217-359-2255.
Love your take. What do you think of Kamala Harris taking over and Joe Biden endorsing her? It shocked me kind of that this happened at that time with no notice. Everybody was speculating Thursday, Friday. It might happen Sunday, but it got quiet, and then it happened. All right, 217-359-2255 on the Fisher National Bank text line. Like to know what you think about the changes over the last 24 hours for the Democrats. Let's check sports headline.
Cardinals won 6-2 over Atlanta. Let's get your Redbird recap.
This is John Rooney, and yesterday in Atlanta at Truist Park, the Cardinals powered their way to a win over the Braves, beginning with Paul Goldschmidt in the second.
Goldschmidt swings, and he hits that ball high and deep to left, and it's a gunner! Goldschmidt hitting in the number 7 spot, hits one out of here.
Alec Burleson drove in 2 runs. He hit a home run in the third. Lars Nootbaar homered over the center field fence in the fourth. Burleson drove in a run in the fifth with a base hit, and it was Wilson Contreras hitting an 8th-inning home run, only to have an error allow a 9th-inning run for the Cardinals in a 6-2 victory. Miles Michaelis went the first 6 innings. He picked up his 8th win, 8 up and 8 down. Spencer Schwellenbach was the loser, 3-5, 0-2 against the Cardinals this year. Brian Helsley worked the 9th inning in a non-save situation. It's Andre Palante against Mitch Keller in Pittsburgh tonight, and we'll be on the air at 4:45 after the Cardinals beat Atlanta 6-2.
The Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum is the official home of Cardinals history. For those who want to be a part of one of the sport's greatest collections in the world, museum membership is the way to go. Cardinals Museum membership provides unlimited admission for 1 year, exclusive Hall of Fame bobbleheads, discounts, ticket offers, and more, in addition to supporting exhibit design and artifact restoration. There are a variety of membership levels, including our ultimate level of membership. For more info and to join, go to cardinals.com/membership.
Nico Horner was shining bright yesterday as the Cubs win over Arizona 2-1. Kansas City over the Chicago White Sox 4-1 to cinch that series. Xander Schauffele, top of the leaderboard at the Open, the champion golfer.
Yep, Royal Troon in Scotland, and Xander just won his second major in about a month and a half. Amazing. He will represent and be at the Olympics, trying to win a gold for the USA. So that's also coming up. The opening ceremonies are coming up, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Just a few days away. Maybe?
That's right.
End of July.
Brickyard 400 had the checkered flag go to Kyle Larson, and it was the All-Stars over Team USA, from what I understand. I didn't jot down the thing. I just caught the headline.
Yeah, Team USA's Olympic team for the women you're talking about.
Right.
Just stretching.
Okay.
Getting loose.
Is that right?
I think the men are going to be in peril for winning a gold. I think the women will win it easily. Weather this morning brought to you by the Urbana Park District.
And they remind you, some great programs. They had a great weather week for yoga in the park. You got Zumba to choose from. You've got Tai Chi, Volunteer Stewardship Day tomorrow. Learn more at urbanaparks.org.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for you. Central Illinois, Champaign, Event, and Saturday turning partly sunny as the day wears on for the day today. Matter of fact, same for the day tomorrow and into Wednesday too. And nothing too impressive on the weather maps and charts regarding any significant heat or humidity or rainfall chances. Pretty quiet the way we'll sum it up here for this week, mid-summertime across East Central Illinois, the Twin Cities, up to 82 today. The rain chance at 20% this afternoon, winding down by early this evening with a light north wind. Otherwise, a fair to partly cloudy sky in the overnight tonight, down to 62. Once again, turning partly sunny for tomorrow afternoon. An isolated shower thunderstorm may spring up, the high at around 86. 60s for lows tomorrow night, partly sunny up to 85. The rain chance a little higher by Wednesday afternoon with the front approaching to the north, a high up near 85. That front stalls out, moves back to the north, up to 82 on Thursday. We're dry there, dry for the weekend with low to mid 80s, nights in the 60s. A little more heat and humidity with temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s for Sunday and Monday of next week with no rain in the forecast. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window. New roofing and siding are a winning combination that can instantly change the look, feel, and function of your home. Our Kramer Siding and Window team takes pride in being an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, able to offer a best-in-the-business 50-year warranty. Pair it with preservation siding in your favorite style and color, and your home will be a showstopper. Start today and save 10% on roofing and 25% on siding. Call us, click on kramersiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
If you need a car, truck, or van battery, I've got you. I've got you from Interstate Stever. Next, stand by. It is 7:20.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Verizon Communications is continuing to see strong demand for its wireless and broadband services, though customers are holding off upgrading their phones. Earnings matched Wall Street forecasts. The quarter was weaker than a year ago, and its revenue was disappointing. Verizon is standing by its forecast for the year. The stock, though, is losing ground. U.S. stock futures are higher after President Biden stepped out of the presidential race. Market watchers say investors have been increasingly pricing in a Trump victory, anticipating smaller companies benefiting from import tariffs, and say now there could be some market volatility. And CrowdStrike shares are down another 3.5% as fallout continues from its global tech outage on Friday. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola, invested in you.
From the Fox News Podcast Network.
I'm Emily Campagno, and this is the Fox True Crime Podcast.
And I had nothing to do with her disappearance, but people still accuse me of it.
I sit down with the people who lived the nightmares.
I was in shock. I was just devastated.
The investigators who tirelessly worked on the case.
I feel for their families, and I really hope that they can catch this guy.
Bringing you closer to the story than you ever thought possible.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Take charge of the years ahead with a smart, sound investment strategy and business succession plan. UC Bank's business and wealth management experts help you envision your best future with powerful insights and proven strategies. Building business and growing wealth since 1868. UC Bank, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
Tapman's Towing, team of experienced tow professionals, is seeking others with CDLs, previous tow experience, and or strong interest in serving others. Please visit our career page at tapmanstowing.com.
All right, ESPN 93.5 on this Monday. It is July 22nd. I am Stevie Jay. Brother Johnny's still in town for another day or so. We had fun at the family reunion, the Tryon family reunion in Ohio every year up in Sugar Creek, Ohio, near Akron-Canton. There was a blimp, a Goodyear blimp in the
Goodyear
sky.
blimp.
Not
That's
sure why that was there.
Pro
yesterday.
Football Hall of Fame induction.
Okay.
We had a great, that Canton, hey, down 77. Wasn't that Red Grange?
You betcha.
No,
Red
that
Grange.
was great. That's
Yeah.
always about the same time, Stephen. They had some good players inducted to now up there with our buddy Mike Ditka.
You bet. Mary Miller, our congressperson from this area, at least part of the area. Kamala Harris, this is her release. Kamala Harris led the Democrats' cover-up of Joe Biden's severe cognitive decline. The donors forced Biden out once they got caught. Border czar Kamala Harris must answer for the deadly invasion of our southern border and her cover-up of Biden's cognitive decline. The American people deserve to know who is actually running the country right now, since the Democrats are finally admitting it is not Joe Biden.
Well, that's sort of what EZ was saying at 217-359-2255. 2255. Good morning, y'all. It's not the puppet that's the problem. It's the puppet master. And Brian texts in, Stevie, you've been calling this Biden dropping out for months.
But what's shocking about Biden dropping out? Everybody was like, oh, I can't believe he's that bad. Well, you haven't been watching. He's been that bad for a while.
Well, they could have kept covering, but they decided before the debate, we got to change, and they dumped him.
But wasn't it it feels very orchestrated? June 27, well, the Bidens did want that. They're going to mop the floor with Donald Trump.
I believe it was very orchestrated, and to the extent this was definitely a plan B. Plan A was, we're going to take Donald Trump out of this race. He's going to be in jail. They did everything humanly possible and didn't get it done. And then they're like, okay, what do we do? Well, Joe can't beat him. I don't think Joe can beat him. What are you talking about? Can't. So, okay, phase 1 complete. Joe's out. I think they're going to have to work on phase 2, Steve, which is Kamala can't win either, I don't believe. And so I don't think they're going to go with Kamala Harris.
Why hasn't President Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Dick Durbin, and Hakeem Jeffries not endorsed Kamala like 50 of the Democratic chairs in all the states already have? She raised $49 million yesterday, plus the 91 she gets from Joe. She's off to a good start.
Yeah, my opinion is because I don't think they're going to run her on top of the ticket for president. And I'm hoping I'll accept that as a okay, this is good. I think Trump's in a good spot right now. I don't think there's a whole lot of options other than trying to talk Michelle Obama into winning. I think the consensus is, well, she would beat Trump. Michelle Obama would beat Trump. I don't know if that's true, and that's an interesting deal, but I do think that's a viable path forward with 100 days left. Kamala Harris has a lot of questions to answer, and she's not that great at answering them. So you've got the border. You've got her bailing out the rioters.
That one rioter, by the way, went on to murder somebody 2 weeks later.
Well, and who knows how many of the other ones.
Now.
And then there's the pro-Palestinian kind of thing. Yeah. And so she's not...
She's a progressive.
She's more so than Joe.
Well, how come Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is silent? She has not endorsed her. I think they want something. They're going to hold off and say, this is how you get our support.
I don't think they're going to... Steve, they want to win is what they want to do. And so I don't think they can win with her, so therefore they've got to figure out what... completion of plan B is get somebody who can beat Trump.
Josh Shapiro's name's been coming up. He's the governor of Pennsylvania with a 60% approval rating.
And he would be a great vice president because they need Pennsylvania. That's a big state, and I think they're going to get it anyway. Trump better have another way to get there because I don't think they can win the state of Pennsylvania.
All right, so if the biggies aren't endorsing Kamala Harris, then is it going to go to the Democratic convention in Chicago in a few weeks? How are they going to do it?
Okay.
Isn't that going to be a melee?
Look, if this was FanDuel, I would be losing all of my money. And I don't bet on the sports either because I'm similarly inclined to pick the wrong team. I can't guess. It's Yogi Berra's line, Steve. It's very hard to make predictions, especially about the future.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
We got a break. We're coming back. And again, you're welcome. I'd like to know what you think about the earth-shaking news that an incumbent has stepped down. Joe Biden is no longer there, although, of course, I've heard words seething is one of the words I've heard written about.
Well, so that was a strong arm move. I mean, we didn't see him. It was a tweet or text or X. It was an X.
And it was released, just a press release.
So I mean, it sounded like somebody said, Joe, this is what we're sending out. And
well, maybe he knew that the biggies weren't going to endorse her, so he, in their face, said, I support Kamala Harris.
Well, and he's recovering from COVID, for Pete's sake.
Well, and we're hearing some glowing reports about how he's been a tremendous patriot for the last 50 years.
Listen, I was, again, another report this morning said Joe was told we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Well,
and he was on the end game of the easy way. He was on the corner and the border of absolutely...
Well, I'm telling you, the general Plan B scenario, I believe he's thrown the first wrench in it because this has taken too long and it's not gone well. And there's people who don't like the way this has been handled and don't like the way Joe's been treated. So you got to factor that in.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, 217-359-2255. What do you think? We have a Stever. I'm buying car and truck batteries today. If you are interested in a free battery from a fantastic business, Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable, way out there, but worth the drive. Mark Martinez has a great shop, and he'll put a new battery in for you. I mean, heck, he wouldn't even let me buy a battery from him. I had a bad battery, or so I thought, and I did. So he said, well, let me try and charge it. Well, let me try and charge it again. Well, let me make sure it's not warranted. I didn't spend any money.
I'm telling you.
He said that's why my customer comes back.
He'll run through the test.
Yeah.
He'll do what it takes
to
get it done. 2504 North Madison, Champaign.
GoStever.com is the website. It's sitting right there. I'm treating you to all-in $150 voucher if you'd like, if you need a car battery. If you haven't had a new car, truck battery, van battery in the last 4 years. Interstate Battery says you need a new one. I can do her for you. I'll do her at 217-359-2255 for what you think of Joe Biden dropping out, and GoStever.com for a free car, truck, or van battery. All right, Watts Copy Systems can evaluate your office. You might save money if you do that. Might not get it. Not a bad idea to get a free evaluation. You can call Watts Copy Systems at 217-352-0428 and get a free evaluation from Watts Copy Systems. Monday, July 22.
Swine and sheep being shown today, this morning at the Champaign County Fair.
Champaign County Fair Week. You got it going on through Saturday this week.
Yes, that's right.
All right, it's 7:30 in Champaign-Urbana.
I'm Chris Foster. Vice President Harris says she will earn and win the Democrats' presidential nomination with President Biden stepping aside. She's got a lot of support, not everyone's endorsement.
The Democratic Party is noticeably divided over whether its members will back Vice President Kamala Harris for president. Former President Obama, for example, issued a statement praising Biden's work in office, but made no mention of Harris. Instead, the Obamas are calling for a, quote, process from which an outstanding nominee emerges. Other big names aren't falling in line either, including former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Fox's Brooks Singman. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle testifies this morning at a House hearing on the assassination attempt against former President Trump. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas announces a bipartisan panel to review the security failures. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Champaign police investigating a pair of overnight shootings left a total of 3 hurt, 2 seriously. Police officials say no indication the shootings are related. As such, they're being investigated. One happened in downtown Champaign near Main and Fremont Streets. A 42-year-old woman from Rantoul in a car was shot in the leg. She is stable. Big upgrades on the way for the Rantoul Youth Center. Last week, Congresswoman Robin Kelly presenting the center with a $540,000 check that'll help make critical upgrades to the kitchen and serving area. They'll also finish work in the main dining room and update the offices and gym. That will be beneficial to the center since it operates a summer food program. In February, Willard Airport began raising money to attract leisure airlines to the airport. Now, 7 months later, they've raised just under $850,000. The airport now has incentives for air carriers flying to any airport in Florida, Las Vegas, and Arizona. The money they're raising helping bring in more airlines to Willard. Your locally up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Weather brought to you by Kramer Siding and Window.
Your premier provider for home improvements, specializing in siding, windows, doors, roofing, and outdoor living. Visit kramersiding.com.
Look at everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign-Urbana this Saturday. No major weather headlines this week. Pretty quiet, uneventful, par for the course, typical. Mid-July and mid-summertime weather for East Central Illinois, the Twin Cities. Into next week, a little more heat and humidity beginning to show on up. Amazingly, for now, the tropics of the Atlantic Basin remain quiet, and any rainfall around here remains iffy and spotty at best. So opportunities to dry and firm the backyards and the back 40s as well. Get caught up a little outdoor work, or perhaps just swing it away on the old golf course too. 82 today with a rain chance of 20% this afternoon. Gone by this evening with an overnight low down to 62, turning partly sunny again tomorrow afternoon. Isolated shower thunderstorm chance and a high around 86 on a light west-southwest wind. Slightly better odds with a weak front pushing through the area Wednesday afternoon. 50-50 on the rainfall chances with a high of around 85 and a partly sunny sky with a couple of showers and thunderstorms again for the afternoon. Dry Thursday, Friday into the weekend with highs in the low to mid-80s. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
All right, who would make you nervous if the Democrats picked this fill in the blank? I think everybody, if you could get any consensus, would probably say Michelle Obama.
Yeah, that's what people would probably say. But
otherwise, would it be formidable to have J.B. Pritzker, Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, Josh Shapiro?
Gretchen I wouldn't like at all. And the other two, like I said, it's very hard to call it right now.
J.B. Pritzker and Governor Newsom have already endorsed Kamala Harris.
Sure, that's all right. That's what they should do. The party's going with her, but they're not going to, I don't think they're going to go through the convention and come out with her because she'll lose.
Well, will she not even be on the ticket? Wouldn't put her. Okay.
No, they're going to have a new ticket.
New ticket. All right. Well, it does make you wonder when the big Democrats aren't endorsing.
I can tell you this. Let me tell you where I'm coming from, because I think there's some sentiment that Kamala. Whoa. I mean, I would way rather have Joe finish out the 6 months than have her as president for even just 6 months. And so, and Joe, you know, I know a lot of people, Diane, who if you put him in front of a national stage and a mic would look just like Joe in terms of freezing up and not doing well. And I don't think he's that much more debilitated than he was a few years ago. And the country's still going. And I think we need to not call for him to step down and have Kamala become the president. So, because she needs a campaign anyway.
That, however, they're doing it continue for 4 more months. And,
yeah. No, well, it's 6 more months.
Well, and at this point, that's how it is. It's just that there's some people saying we think he should resign now.
Again, I don't know why at this point, if you have Anita Dunn running the country or Joe Biden running the country, whatever it is.
Well, whatever's been going on for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And I'm not particularly over the moon about how they've done, but I think we'll make it for 6 months, and I don't think we want him to step down. And again, Kamala needs to focus on trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
Proving us wrong. But she's
there's just too many word salads out there where you're not sure she understands the issue. I don't. She gets off to this philosophic kind of phrasing, and everybody.
Well, she was the border czar, and that's one of the bigger.
I thought she kind of declined that. She wanted to get to the root problem versus tackle the border.
Well, she was in charge of doing something, and I don't think she did anything. And so that's one of our biggest issues in this campaign. So she's got to defend that.
Yeah, and Donald Trump was on with Jesse Waters, actually airing tonight. They showed a clip. J.D. Vance and Donald Trump on with Jesse Waters on Fox at 7 tonight. And he said it doesn't make any difference. The policies are the same. You're still going to have an open border. You're still going to have high inflation, high prices at the grocery and the gas pump. And then one of our friends said, well, how can Trump make it happen so fast? It's not going to happen fast. If you start drilling, it's still going to take a little time to ramp up, but the policy would be in the right direction, according to I believe.
Well, I think anything we can do for our own energy independence is better for national security and our economy. So that was one of the things I still shake my head about. We need to shut down the pipeline and stop drilling. And it's based on this idea that we only have about 10 years due to climate change, which they started saying about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So there's something wrong with their estimates on that. And so you can get into the climate change issue, but that's what's driving this whole energy. We are hurting the planet. And then there's a certain demand for energy globally, Steve, and when we stop producing, someone else picks it up, and they're not doing the job as cleanly and as environmentally friendly as we do. So there's a net loss in carbon emissions. So it's an exercise in futility, and we're hurting ourselves with this energy thing.
We've never had a president of the United States that lived in Urbana. There's that. Kamala Harris was a person living in Urbana.
Yep, she had a chapter of life here.
7 years old. Both her parents taught at the University of Illinois with PhDs. Then after a year, they left for Madison, Wisconsin. But she is Indian. Southern India is where her mom's from. Jamaica is where her dad is. She's not African American. She went to Howard University, which is 67% African American. But Kamala is a woman of color, but she's not African American.
Well, I don't know what that is. It makes no difference whatsoever. I can tell you there's tens of thousands of African American women who would do well as president. And I would not pick her out as one of them.
But somebody had said yesterday, first African American, she's not African American. So
I don't know. There's some African descent. I don't know if you can say that. It doesn't matter. Don't fall for it. They want you to think this kind of person needs to be put in here. Right. Well, what if they can't do it? Doesn't matter. Yes, it matters. And so I don't think she's demonstrated to me that she'd be a really good president. Like I said, I definitely take Joe right now because I don't think he's as incompetent as now they're painting him to be.
Well, they had to get rid of him. And again, we've talked about this. The really curious, I've never heard of it before when CNN got exclusive rights to that debate, which is going to bring millions and millions. I think they estimated across the platforms, 51 million watch that debate. Why did CNN offer a free feed as long as you put CNN on your screen to Fox News, ABC, CBS, NBC, so the world could see it? Did they know? Did they know that we have to find out yes or no definitively, and this will end it?
Well, you might add that within about 7 minutes into the debate, they started. During the debate, this guy's got to go. We can't have this.
Well, he was that bad, though.
Well, he's been that bad. Yeah. He didn't do anything that much different than we've seen.
Yeah, certainly in the last 6 months. There's been a lot of frozen moments. Like Mitch McConnell had a few of those.
Will Trump's tone change now that he can't point the finger at all of Biden's stuff?
I think it definitely.
Wouldn't that be nice?
His tone
not
changed.
To hear all the doom and gloom and just talk about, hey, I've got some new ideas.
It changed.
I love that.
In the convention, it changed for about 15 minutes.
Right. I was thinking he was going to be more empathetic. And
what he wrote was, but he went way off script.
Yeah, he does that all the time.
And that's what he does.
Yeah. No.
Well, it also, though, I mean, if you think about, do you want world leaders to be afraid of your leader? I do, actually.
I think they should have enough respect to know he's going to do something to discourage you from doing something we feel could be a problem and make that connection. I think, I don't know about afraid of, but certainly have enough respect for.
Respect or fear.
And at least look at him as a, quote, strong leader that might have something to say about it that we have to listen to. That's where it is. Maybe that's fear.
Will the running mates make a difference if Kamala Harris taps? I've got 9 here that people are shooting out there.
9 people?
Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro.
Yeah.
And then Arizona Senator Mark Kelly is on the list. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. We also have Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper's on the list. I believe he's one of the older ones. California Governor Gavin Newsom made the list. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker is 59. And Maryland Governor Wes Moore is 45. He's on the list, along with Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg.
I wonder what it would look like if you had Gavin Newsom and Josh Shapiro, J.B. Pritzker, Josh Shapiro, have Pennsylvania in there, because chances are that would be a slam dunk for a popular governor in that state. I mean, this is going to be interesting. Maybe Dick Durbin hasn't endorsed Kamala Harris holding out for his buddy J.B. Pritzker. Maybe he's kind of waiting on that.
Yeah, I don't think the vice president could make a big difference. Certainly when you're talking about Pennsylvania, that could swing the whole thing. I mean, so there's that. But usually it's the top of the ticket that drives it. I think Vance is probably a good pick, but I don't think it's going to make or break the race for Trump. And so the vice president's always an interesting call, and you wonder, okay, I guess he could be president, but a lot of people don't remember who it is.
Right.
In this case, though, if you have a Josh Shapiro, that would be a good, meaningful pick to get a state. A lot of times.
Whereas J.D. Vance, for Ohio.
Well, and Ohio's pretty much in. You got to count Ohio. It's over. No. But Pennsylvania is supposedly still up for grabs. I've been worried about Pennsylvania. I don't think they've solved the Philadelphia problem. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they can win that. But I think it's going to be somebody else.
All right, 217-359-2255, talking about Joe Biden stepping out yesterday afternoon.
Steve's chiming in, 359-2255. Can Obama run as VP?
No. He's had 2 terms. Not constitutionally.
He can't be president, so the vice president's really number one function is to take the president's job if they need to.
Wouldn't he just say what the Clintons said? You get 2 for 1. I mean, Bill Clinton said, you get 2 for 1. Honey, do you need my help?
Yeah, well.
What about the Clintons? Can Hillary run?
Sure.
What about Hillary and Vice President Josh Shapiro?
I mean, there's an infinite number of combinations.
Why are the Clintons so in front of the microphone right now?
Well, I think the party's looking to leadership to help them, steer through this storm. But they've had a real bad month.
Would Hillary Clinton be a viable candidate?
Yeah, sure. At this point, I think so.
The TV
she got a lot of votes. Steve, that was a close race.
Well, she got supposedly more votes. California had 5 million more. In total
popular vote.
Popular vote. No, can you imagine the viewership for another Trump-Clinton debate? Oh my!
I don't think they would go with Hillary, but she'd probably be willing to do it. I think I think there's still talking to Michelle. Come on. I mean, what's wrong?
But, I mean, would there ever be a better situation for her where she's only running 2 months?
Well, she wouldn't have to do a primary, and she'd be given the nomination. And
I thought she despised the whole situation.
She doesn't want to do it. I believe that. I believe her when she says it. And I also think, no, there would be a better situation if they had time. They have 100 days, and I don't know whether they're going to risk, where they are now.
When's the Democratic National Convention? August 19th?
Yeah, a month away. Less than a month away. In Chicago. Oh, Chicago. Remember 68. 1968.
Well, they seem to be really trying to get a commitment for Kamala.
Yeah, right.
And I'm pulling for them. I'm thinking of maybe making a donation, Steve. I'd like to. No, I just want to see a good, solid match. Trump and Kamala Harris.
Ooh.
That'll be great. And if they win that one, okay, she's president.
All right, 7:46. Quick check of some sports headlines.
St. Louis Cardinals beat Atlanta. Because we have a win, are we doing the Redbird recap? Okay.
This is John Rooney, and yesterday in Atlanta at Truist Park, the Cardinals powered their way to a win over the Braves, beginning with Paul Goldschmidt in the second.
Goldschmidt swings, and he hits that ball high and deep to left, and it's a gunner! Goldschmidt hitting in the number 7 spot, hits one out of here.
Alec Burleson drove in 2 runs. He hit a home run in the third. Lars Nootbaar homered over the center field fence in the fourth. Burleson drove in a run in the fifth with a base hit, and it was Wilson Contreras hitting an 8th-inning home run, only to have an error allow a 9th-inning run for the Cardinals in a 6-2 victory. Miles Michaelis went the first 6 innings. He picked up his 8th win, 8 up and 8 down. Spencer Schwellenbach was the loser, 3-5, 0-2 against the Cardinals this year. Brian Helsley worked the 9th inning in a non-save situation. It's Andre Palante against Mitch Keller in Pittsburgh tonight, and we'll be on the air at 4:45 after the Cardinals beat Atlanta 6-2.
All right, we had the Cubs over Arizona. That final was 2-1, and Kansas City swept Chicago's White Sox. The game yesterday was 4-1. Well, did you see any of Xander Schauffele at the Royal Troon?
I did a little bit.
Shot a 65 yesterday to run away 2-shot win, but Schauffele started the day. He's -3. He was in the hunt for sure. He's only stroke back, but man, what a finish! Wow,
it's so pretty.
Well, Steve, when you're hot, you're hot.
Yep, yeah,
he felt it.
Yeah, he did.
Have you seen the grounds there in Scotland?
I have not seen that's Troon.
Royal Troon.
Royal Troon.
Yeah, I have been to Scotland and seen some courses. I've never played over there.
Okay.
Steve has.
Yeah,
that's right.
The old course.
Uh-huh.
I didn't play. Nathaniel and Christian.
Oh, you
played.
didn't play? Okay.
No, I watched.
Okay.
But you have to have a letter of recommendation and a handicap, otherwise you can't play.
Well, I'd need a little trailer to carry extra balls in because you get it out in that.
It's pretty straightforward. Some of the pot bunkers are in the middle of the fairway though, and you get in one of those, you have to sometimes hit it backwards.
No.
Over in Indy, Brickyard 400, checkered flag goes to Kyle Larson. All-Star WNBA team beats Team USA Saturday night, 117-109.
Huge mistake not having Caitlin Clark.
We figured that. Was Reese on the...
Reese
and Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, there's 2 of our best players.
WNBA.
But they don't have the experience. And I was wondering if they might not be able to beat the USA team. Did Caitlin, how did she do? Did she get hot or something?
I just read about Enrique Ongambalwe, who scored 34 points all in the second half. She plays for the Dallas Wings. She was the MVP of the of the whole game.
And she's not on the Olympic team.
Right.
Okay.
She's WNBA.
Well, and I don't know if the guys are going to win. I mean, the men are struggling through some of these early exhibitions.
LeBron's going to carry the flag. We do know that.
At the opening game.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
No, well, there's a group of stars that have to play like a team, and it's hard to get that going in a short time. Steve Kerr can do it if anybody can, but I think they'll start playing better and better. But it's moving the ball and playing 5-on-5, not not taking turns playing 1-on-5.
Yeah, the NBA is just pretty much an ISO game. Give me the ball, you do it, I'll be over here.
If you move the ball around, that's the teams that win.
Yeah.
And if you do too much 1-on-5, those are the ones that lose. So that's it. And every now and then someone will score 61 points. Oh, great job! Like Karl Anthony Towns, 62 points. They lost the game.
Yeah, right.
Clark had 10 assists, I guess, and Reese had a double-double, 12 points and 11 rebounds.
All right.
Weather brought to you by Busey for over 150 years, member FDIC, and by Kurt Lenschow, State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, Kurt and State Farm are there.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for you. Central Illinois, Champaign event and Saturday, turning partly sunny as the day wears on for the day today. Matter of fact, same for the day tomorrow and into Wednesday, too. And nothing too impressive on the weather maps and charts regarding any significant heat or humidity or rainfall chances. Pretty quiet the way we'll sum it up here for this week, mid-summertime across East Central Illinois, the Twin Cities, up to 82 today. The rain chance at 20% this afternoon, winding down by early this evening with a light north wind. Otherwise, a fair to partly cloudy sky in the overnight tonight, down to 62. Once again, turning partly sunny for tomorrow afternoon. An isolated shower thunderstorm may spring up, the high at around 86. 60s for lows tomorrow night, partly sunny up to 85. The rain chance a little higher by Wednesday afternoon with the front approaching to the north, a high up near 85. That front stalls out, moves back to the north, up to 82 on Thursday. We're dry there, dry for the weekend with low to mid 80s, nights in the 60s. A little more heat and humidity with temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s for Sunday and Monday of next week with no rain in the forecast. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm Beatles, Greg Soldier.
All right, 217-359-2255. Been getting your texts in all morning. If you are wanting to chime in on the Joe Biden got out yesterday about 12:45 Central Times when the news broke, and apparently nobody really knew. It came out like a minute after he told somebody. I mean, it was like, actually they speculated for 3 days, but the timing of it was a surprise. No speech, no nothing, no meet the press. It was just pretty much, here's my release. I'm getting out for the good of the country. And again,
I think that's suspicious in itself that we didn't hear him say anything.
Well, maybe he gets in front of the nation at some point this week and says, here's what I'm doing, here's why it's better. Yeah, we all kind of, you had said it's over back when the debate happened. You said Johnny kept saying it's done.
Well, the race was over if they stuck with Joe. They're not. You have to have a lot of respect for the Democrats when it comes. They will somehow be victorious if they can. They'll do, I think, anything to win. And you could say that about the Republicans, but I don't think that the Republicans will do as many things. And they don't strategize like the Democrats. And so therefore, when Joe cannot win, he's done. They trashed any chance they might have had after the debate with the narrative of he's got to go.
Yeah.
And so now they're looking at handing it over to Donald Trump. Wasn't going to happen. So they've gotten that step done. But are they better off with Kamala Harris? Because there's been a debate of who would even have done better. Let's go back before the debate. He gets through the debate, and they're saying, "Oh, he did fine. He's had a cold, but yeah, I think Joe beat Donald Trump." The usual stuff. Then instead, they turned on him, and he's out. But before that, Steve, there was some sentiment that Kamala would do worse than Joe.
Yeah.
And actually, her record is going to be harder to defend than what Joe's done, because that's what it's going to boil down to. Sooner or later, we're going to talk about the inflation. We're going to talk about the border. We're going to talk about the crime. We're going to talk about the energy. We're going to talk about the wars. We're going to talk about the things that the election's supposed to be about. And Kamala's doesn't hold up very well with that.
Hit the policy
and
hard.
You can't just say, well, look, she's a woman of color. That's just not really going to sell the election.
The reason I brought up the African-American thing is because she's being referenced. Yesterday I heard somebody say African-American that knows how to convict and prosecute a felon. That's what the whole phrase was. She's not African-American, number one.
Well, there's a text in to 359-2255. For as bad as the Democrats have handled the Biden situation, they're not out of it. Trump is a beatable candidate. I think there are a lot of people that want to have every reason not to vote for Trump.
Well, and that's why if they just come up with almost anybody else, I think they have a chance. And I will say this. The Democrats have an incredible structure to deliver votes for an election for any office, and the president's included. And they could possibly get Kamala Harris in by this get out the vote, the early vote, all the things about voting we talk about. They're not out of it. This is far from over.
Oh yeah,
I think Trump's stronger than he has ever been, and that's a problem because he got 75 million votes, and I think he's going to get more. So that's what they got to do.
Okay, one word. Oprah. Oprah would win, Johnny.
Oprah's so much smarter than that. She's not going to walk into that.
She could win. I mean, just a celebrity deal there. And she's liked, and she's a billionaire.
But, it's so easy to say that when the person on the outside, I've heard it before through the years, so-and-so, if they just got in.
Donald Trump was loved by everybody till he ran.
And remember...
he ran as a Republican.
I remember when, I think it was 16 or probably 12. I don't remember when the easy walk-in shoe-in was Rick Perry of Texas.
Yeah.
72%. It looks like it's over. Oh, he's running. They just slaughtered him.
Yeah.
He made it like 3 weeks.
No, right. No, exactly.
It's called getting into the arena.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Okay, here's a good trivia. When was the last election the United States of America held for President of the United States? When was the last election, players, that did not have Clinton, Biden, or Bush as a running mate?
As in the mix.
In the mix. You did not have Clinton, Biden, or Bush. What was the last time you did not have an election that did not
Jimmy
include...
Carter?
No, wait a minute now. Now, hold on a minute. I think it might have been Reagan Mondale. You had Gore, because Bush was in there. Oh, Bush was the vice president.
Right.
You have to go back. It's Jimmy Carter.
Wow.
Diane
Ducey, 1976.
Okay.
What does that tell you? Are they all Harvard, Yale people?
Yeah.
Jeez. That's pretty sad.
Well, Reagan wasn't from Harvard or Yale.
But Bush was, Yale.
Yeah, no, right.
Yeah.
No, right, good
And
point.
J.D. Vance, Yale.
Yeah.
Why does everybody have to come from Harvard or Yale?
I don't know. We should have some University of Illinois people.
Absolutely. Go Illini.
I guess that's Kamala. Did she go to Illinois? No.
Her parents taught here.
Right.
She was only 7.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. More coming up. I do want to talk about Kim Cheadle. She's the head of the Secret Service from Danville, graduated Eastern Illinois University, went to Danville Schlumberger High School.
Did she resign? Or
No. She has no plans.
Okay.
Right.
Now, she has to explain a little on the assassination attempt of Donald J. Trump. We'll get into a little of that.
Oh, that's July 4th. Okay.
Anyway, 217-359-2255. If you have something to say this morning, I'd like to know what you think. Is there a name we're missing for the Democrats that would be, I guess, perceived as, I think Michelle Obama, which I don't think they can talk her into it. Can you imagine that being talked into? Oh, the presidency is yours if you only take it. What is that? Can you imagine that?
No,
being in
that's not happening.
I think if she
did it,
I will say if they could do that and guarantee it, that she probably would take it, because she would think that, okay, somebody needs to pull this country together. That's the way she would look at it. And I'll do it. I don't want the job, but I'll do it because somebody needs to do it. And so, but as far as being able to tell her you're definitely going to win, they really can't do that.
I think we all just need to keep praying.
That's exactly right. Pray, and then when you're done, pray some more.
Exactly.
7:58, we're back after this.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Political news is sure to dominate the headlines in 2024, adding uncertainty to the markets. This makes a disciplined investment strategy even more critical to achieving your long-term goals. To assure your investments are aligned with your objectives, contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. It's time to come home to Carpet Weavers. We don't want you to just like your new floors. We want you to love them. From waterproof floors and carpet to furnitures and design advice, we've got a team of experts on your side. We'll get you the best price and the best quality products. And complete your home with furniture and accessories. Buy it all with free financing too. Come home to Carpet Weavers, where floors, furniture, and family meet.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
It's not just former President Trump who has to run against somebody else. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. So does independent Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The day after President Biden dropped out of the 2024 race. Kennedy tells Fox.
I think the Democrats really need to do what President Obama said, which is to have an open process.
Obama has spoken to Harris, but has yet to endorse the vice president. Kennedy joins former President Trump, also saying Americans were misled, and Harris has some explaining to do.
Because she was seeing the president every day. Yeah. And she was telling the American public again and again and again, he's completely capable of running the country. There's no signs of deterioration.
Well, after President Biden endorsed Harris, hundreds of Biden delegates have already pledged support for her, and several governors, including Andy Beshear from Kentucky a short time ago, backed her.
Nearly $50 million were raised in grassroots donations to Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential campaign, according to a spokesperson. The Democratic fundraising platform Act Blue says it is the largest single fundraising day it has had in the 2024 cycle. So far, no other major Democrat has announced a challenge to the vice president.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Senator Joe Manchin, an independent who yesterday flirted with re-registering as a Democrat to run, says this morning he won't do that, but he's calling for a mini primary to pick the nominee. There's more grieving in Israel. 2 more hostages dead in Gaza.
The Israeli military says 35-year-old Yagev Buchstab is dead, along with Alex Danzig, whose 76th birthday would have been yesterday. Both were taken hostage by Hamas during the massacre of October 7th last year.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Of the 120 hostages Hamas still has, 46 are dead. An hour from now, Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle will testify at a House hearing into the Trump assassination attempt. Security lapses. Some lawmakers are demanding Cheadle resign. America's listening to Fox News.
Donald Trump Jr. here. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back, but you can stop your losses by diversifying into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold now.
Message and data rates may apply.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Now more on the investigation into the Secret Service 9 days after the Trump assassination attempt that also killed a man and seriously injured 2 others attending that Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, where Fox's C.B. Cotton reports.
Republican Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin has released his own preliminary findings into the shooting. His office now reporting that Secret Service did not attend a security briefing provided to local SWAT and sniper teams the morning of July 13th. Local law enforcement said communications were silenced and they were not in frequent radio contact directly with Secret Service. Local law enforcement notified command about Crooks prior to the shooting and received confirmation that Secret Service was aware of the notification. These apparent security lapses come in the senator's 13-page report, also including photos of the gunman, Thomas Crooks.
And police continue to investigate Crooks, who was killed by a Secret Service sniper. They're trying to figure out what motivated the 20-year-old to target former President Trump. There's Olympics news. NBA star LeBron James will be the U.S. male flag bearer during Friday's opening ceremony in Paris. The female athlete who will carry the American flag has not yet been announced. There's a new king of the box office, a sequel to a 28-year-old movie.
You thought you could destroy a tornado.
We never had a chance.
You want one?
Twisters with an impressive opening weekend, earning $80.5 million. The standalone sequel to the 1996 hit stars Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones. In second place, Despicable Me 4, gaining $23.8 million in its third week in theaters. And continuing the sequel trend, Inside Out 2 comes in third place with $12.8 million in its sixth week. Tony Genualdo, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stocks could rise to start the week. Futures are on the way up. About 200 points for the NASDAQ before this hour's opening bell. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. University of Illinois campus experiencing a significant network service interruption. And a Illini alert was sent out to students and faculty, alerting them of the disruption. There was no estimate provided for when the network services were resolved. The interruption is not a cybersecurity incident, but rather a vendor software issue. Illinois is setting the framework for the new environmental protections in the state. The governor signed a landmark bill into law that creates nation-leading standards for safety and environmental protection for carbon capture. The measure will also drive investments in Illinois, creating hundreds of jobs as companies are incentivized to move carbon capture to Illinois. Illinois EPA holding 10 household hazardous waste collections this fall. One-day collections open to all Illinois residents and operate from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. the day of the event. Events going to be held throughout the state, including in Champaign, Taylorville, East Moline, Decatur, Bloomington, Oregon, Springfield, Dixon, Orland Park, and Carbondale. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, thank you, Jim. ESPN 93.5, hour number 2. I am Stevie J. That is Diane Ducey.
Good morning. Champaign County Fair is going. Kids Day today. I know in Kittyland, the preschool rides are 10 a.m. to noon today. Got the harness racing Tuesday, monster trucks Wednesday, and a rodeo on Thursday. Of course, Josh Turner's show is on Friday. And then the tractor pulls on Saturday.
Well, here to tell you if we can enjoy it all week, meteorologist Greg Solier. Sir, what are we looking at on your maps, my friend?
Yeah, the maps and charts pretty uneventful and quiet and typical par for the course mid-July weather and fair-going festivities and environs here. Yeah, we do make the mention, and it's just a mere mention, maybe bubbling up the atmosphere in a couple of spots, just to sheer daytime heating, where we may see an isolated or stray shower to come to light during the course of the afternoon. Slightly better odds tomorrow afternoon with at least a front approaching that will have drier air temporarily on Thursday, and then we slowly ramp things up temperature-wise over the weekend. More so into next week. So, for the fair in mid-July, comfortable, easy to take temperature and humidity levels, nothing major or widespread on the maps and charts regarding rainfall and or severe weather. And next week, different story. We'll get into a little more of, at least a push of some heat and humidity as upper level ridging takes hold to the west and to the southeast of us. And that as well will keep humidity high and help to generate a couple of thunderstorms too next week. So again, nothing unusual for the time of year. 73 at Willard and Savoy right now. Up to 82 with the rain chance if you're scoring at home at 20% this afternoon. Gone by this evening down to 62. Rubber stamp it tomorrow, partly sunny. 86 rain chance at 20% for the afternoon. We'll bottom out in the 60s tomorrow night. Slightly better odds, 50-50 Wednesday afternoon with a high at around 85 and slightly drier, cooler air at 82 on Thursday. Lower 80s on Friday, mid to upper 80s. Humidity begins to climb, but rain free for Saturday and Sunday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soltke.
So I got some Kamala Harris clips that I could not let go of, so I've still got those. I got to play them coming up here in a moment. First, Kim Cheadle, head of the Secret Service, within the hour will be in front of Congress. Some of the committees that want to know what happened on July 13, the assassination attempt of Donald J. Trump, the Secret Service sharpshooter who killed the would-be assassin made a 1 in a million shot. It wasn't the guys behind Trump at that perch. It was somebody 400 yards away that actually couldn't see him, saw the scope, made the shot, and it worked. But there's a lot of questions as to how a building so close with line of sight to the president at only 132 meters or whatever the number is, somewhere around that, how could that go unsecured? I mean, that's stunning. The fact that the kid hid the gun, did reconnaissance, had a rangefinder, flew a drone. He was a person of interest. 5 minutes before Donald Trump was to walk out, he was the threat, and they didn't stop Trump from walking out.
Right.
What are you doing? All these questions and more. Kim Cheadle has said, I take full responsibility for the failure that was July 13th. But does anything change? What do we do to never let that? I just don't get it. And if you have a person of interest, doesn't somebody follow that person the rest of the day?
I mean, there's the main thing is he missed, which was a miracle. And I think that's all we're really going to find out for now, Steve. Because it's kind of trending in the same thing. You heard her say the pitched roof wasn't safe to go up there, which was a ridiculous statement. And I don't think we're going to get a whole lot more information about it right now.
Well, we need to obviously learn for Democrats and Republicans to not get shot.
Well, you want to find out if there was anybody else that was supporting them and giving them some info, and we're not going to find that out. That's just not going to come out.
And so what happens there is conspiracies start.
Well, they're already there just because the building was left open.
Yeah.
Just that fact is like...
There is stuff out there now that based on the sound, somebody else says there was another shooter.
I'm sure we'll hear that.
Yeah.
No, this isn't going to stop.
34% believe he wasn't shot and Trump set it up.
Yep.
34% believe Donald
It's
Trump.
out there.
No, right. That's
but how can 34%?
It's what you're going to expect to hear when the people you turn to for answers aren't trustworthy in the minds of the unwashed masses like us. We don't trust them. So that didn't happen. Oh, they're lying to us. No, they should have told us this and that. We've seen this before, but it's pretty intense now. So there's got to be at least 20 theories as to what happened and counting.
And I think the anti-Trump people believe that, well, first of all, why would other people be killed if another person was killed and two seriously injured? And the response was, well, Trump doesn't care about his supporters.
Gotcha. Well, I can tell you what, I don't think he would have probably said, well, we're going to just shoot your ear, Mr. President. Yeah, right. We're right there at 130 yards, and I don't think he would have said, oh, okay.
Well, then Keith Olbermann
you ought to be able to do that.
Then there are people like Keith Olbermann who says that he wasn't shot. It was glass from a shard from the teleprompter. When the teleprompters were not shot, you could see that.
No, you're going to hear it all.
Wow.
I mean, and so, and I would put that at Cheadle and our Homeland Security and FBI, who really haven't developed the kind of trust and transparency we would like to have. And so everybody makes up their own story.
Well, this article's bringing up shouting stonewalling from
the Secret Service. We're not getting transparency.
Stonewalling is a good word. That's the kind of thing.
But why would you?
I don't, Steve, I don't know. A conspiracy because of this. That's where they come from. Mm-hmm. They can't tell us this because of that.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because they don't want to, or maybe they actually don't know.
Oof.
So,
well, I mean, at some point, if you're lacking people, if you don't have enough people, which is a concern, do you tell a first lady that we can't go to that education ceremony today because we have another?
Well, so two questions from the standpoint of feeding conspiracy is 10 minutes before Trump goes on stage, we have a threat.
Yeah.
And we don't know where he went.
Why would you go out?
Number two, why would those two guys right on top of him not shoot? And it took a guy from 400 yards to get him. He was firing away.
What would you shoot, though?
You would shoot the shooter. The guys on the roof were looking 75 yards away.
Don't get it.
And they were there for that reason.
And they weren't the shooter. They weren't the guys that shot back. Yeah.
No, it was that one you said that got a miracle shot. Mm-hmm. So there's those questions. We're not gonna have an answer. If they don't know, they're not gonna give us a good answer because they don't know.
Well, remember there was absolute report of a police officer holding onto the edge of the roof with both hands looking up. The kid turned the gun on him, and he fell down 8 feet and apparently hurt himself somewhat. But on that point, they both got on the radios. At that point, get Trump down. He's already speaking at that point.
Well, I'll tell you that they may not have been able to connect straight to the Secret Service. but that
somebody
guy,
shoot a gun in the air and stop everything.
Dowling didn't think of it. That guy saved Trump's life, I think, because once the shooter realized he had to go fast. Caught, he was rushed, and that could have done it. And that's another speculation.
Yeah.
We're just not. I don't even know how we can expect to get straight answers this soon. It always comes out like 18 months later.
I know.
Some Freedom of Information Act lawsuits come out. Oh, did you know this and that? And it's just the
we've
same old thing.
kind of gotten into a trend now where you can be subpoenaed by Congress and ignore it. That's what Merrick Garland did. So I guess you just don't have to follow the law in all cases.
Yeah.
Depends how bigoted and hateful you are, I guess. All right, we jump to morning sports. I got the Kamala Harris clip. Stand by, 8:14.
Oh, boy. Someone did text in for that.
I am going to simply play it. I can do it without comment. I'll play Kamala, and you just listen to her talk, and whatever you think.
By the way, there have been some texts in. Kennedy, wait, he's not handpicked, says Dion.
Kennedy went way anti-vaccine on us. He'll never be picked by the Democrats. And neither will Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin wants to run.
Yeah, Joe can't get that nomination, I don't believe, from the progressive delegates.
Yeah.
Remember, they're Joe's delegates. Joe and Kamala's delegates.
But you don't need to get all the people. You're not going to have you have like 1,900 delegates is all you need. Kamala has like 514 commits already.
Yeah.
You need 1,900 and some.
Here's one that says Bernie to capture any skeptical progressives, or Roy Cooper for a balance pick to get some votes from NC.
What about North Carolina? What about Bernie Sanders as a vice president? Now, there's an 83-year-old that's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, he seems to be doing fine.
What the heck?
But,
dear sweet Bernie.
I don't think that's going to... So their problem with Kamala is she's as progressive as you can get.
Yeah.
You don't throw an even more progressive guy in with her. You need to come back to the middle.
I don't get the feeling she can go deep on these issues. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe we'll hear it in the debates. I don't know if she can go very deep on what the issues are and why they're there.
I just think that her opinion of what we should do is not in line with the voters.
Well, here's another person saying Democrats will vote for whoever party tells them to without even realizing elites are just subverting democracy.
I mean, that's true to a point, but it's not enough to win an election. They've got to get a lot of more moderate Democrats who vote for whoever they feel like it, and then you got your independents, your no labels.
Is there a faction of the Democratic Party that they could say, we don't need you, or you need them all?
I think they need them all.
If the progressives went left and voted for somebody else, Jill Stein,
that'd be the end of it.
Okay.
And I think Robert Kennedy Jr. is a problem. They just don't want to talk about it because he's going to get some votes.
There's another guy too. I think he's the progressive, and I can't remember his name, but he gets 1% of vote. Maybe
1%. You know how those votes
Al
go.
Gore, and that was Ralph Nader, got 2.4%. 2000.
I will say that I'll make one prediction: if Kamala is the nominee, she'll pick that Pennsylvania guy.
Shapiro.
That could give him the race.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, and he's popular there, so that he could actually make the difference in Pennsylvania, which is something like 25 electoral.
Now I only got a minute left, so go ahead.
Okay, so we had the Cardinals win over Atlanta, 6-2. They've got a game against Pittsburgh later on this afternoon here on ESPN 93.5. The Cubs beat Arizona 2-1. Kansas City swept the Chicago White Sox. The score was 4-1 yesterday. Brickyard 400 checkered flag went to Kyle Larson over in Indianapolis. The All-Star WNBA team beat Team USA 117-109 on Saturday night. And Xander Schauffele is the Open champion.
Hey, as retirement approaches, eliminating your home payment, your house payment can seem obvious, but is paying off your mortgage the right decision? The experts at Busey Wealth Management and Busey Home Mortgage say that depends. If you keep the mortgage, your retirement savings remain intact and you receive a tax deduction. You have to carry the financial burden with you through retirement. Pay off the mortgage? Well, if you have enough money to cover it, if your retirement income is significantly reduced, if you want the peace of mind, you can do that. Busey have the experts that can advise against paying off your mortgage if it requires dipping into your 401. They say don't do that, but they can sit with you and create a plan that could give you some peace of mind. The experts at Busey will guide you every step of the way. Stop by one of their many convenient locations. Call 800-67-BUSEY or visit Busey.com to get started. Investment products and services not FDIC insured, may lose value, no bank guarantee. Busey for over 150 years, member FDIC.
So this says the candidates November 5th are Kamala Harris, Marianne Williamson, Donald Trump, Chase Oliver, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Well, there's somebody, Jill Stein's on there.
Okay,
there's somebody else on there, too.
There's usually
Yeah,
10 or
quite,
12.
yeah, there's a lot.
You've got the Communist
Party.
You've got the Green
this
Party.
just has
Party.
The Libertarians use it.
5 noteworthy presidential candidates.
Well, Marianne Williamson made that.
I know.
I might put my name in.
Come on.
She's in there because I could be the male candidate of love.
Okay.
There you go.
Peace and love, Marianne Williamson.
8:19. Your weather now.
Well, again, everyone, let's check weather for you. Central Illinois, Champaign, Van Avis. Saturday turning partly sunny as the day wears on for the day today. Matter of fact, same for the day tomorrow and into Wednesday too. Nothing too impressive on the weather maps and charts regarding any significant heat or humidity or rainfall chances. Pretty quiet the way we'll sum it up here for this week, mid-summer time across East Central Illinois, the Twin Cities, up to 82 today. The rain chance at 20% this afternoon, winding down by early this evening with a light north wind. Otherwise, a fair to partly cloudy sky in the overnight tonight, down to 62. Once again, turning partly sunny for tomorrow afternoon. An isolated shower thunderstorm may spring up, the high at around 86. 60s for lows tomorrow night, partly sunny up to 85. The rain chance a little higher by Wednesday afternoon with a front approaching to the north, a high up near 85. That front stalls out, moves back to the north, up to 82 on Thursday. We're dry there, dry for the weekend with low to mid 80s, nights in the 60s. A little more heat and humidity with temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s for Sunday and Monday of next week with no rain in the forecast. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Boeing shares are gaining ground after Boeing announced at the Farnborough International Air Show in the UK today that Korean Air will buy up to 50 wide-body airplanes, including 10 787 Dreamliners. CrowdStrike shares continue to lose ground as fallout continues from its glitch in a software update that impacted Microsoft devices globally on Friday. Verizon reported mixed earnings, though it added more phone customers with a monthly bill and contract. Though customers are waiting longer to upgrade their phones, its profit was flat. Stock futures are higher. The Wall Street Journal says President Biden's withdrawal from the election was widely expected in financial markets. Last week was the worst for the S&P 500 since April. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosilda, invested in you.
Interesting people are talking to Will Kane.
I said, what do I call you? I call you Dwayne. I call you The Rock. He said, now that I own it, I can call you The Rock.
Yes, I own it now. You can call me The Rock.
Our next guest needs no introduction. It is Dr. Jordan Peters, my old friend and frenemy, Stephen A. Smith.
What is going on here? I see the Will Kane show in the background. I see the microphone.
Watch it live at noon Eastern, Monday through Thursday on FoxNews.com. And get the podcast 5 days a week at FoxNewsPodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
BMW, Buick, GMC, Honda, and Subaru. Welcome to Sarah Champagne. We can handle all your car repairs on site, including paintless dent repair, bumpers, windshields, everything in between. We have an amazing selection of new or pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Shop from home and buy online or reserve your vehicle before it hits our website or dealership. Sarah Champagne is home of the Sarah One Price Promise, delivering an honest and transparent buying experience. Hurry in or shop online at sarahchampagne.com.
St. Louis is all about sports, and now is your chance to take home a one-of-a-kind Cardinals jersey. On Saturday, July 27th, the Birds on the Bat host the Washington Nationals, and that night, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will receive a Cardinals basketball jersey presented by Air National Guard. Don't miss your chance to add this unique jersey to your collection. That's the Cardinals basketball jersey, Saturday, July 27th. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
A slap of the bat, high fives at the plate. They're all celebrated at Pia's Sports Bar and Grill after the game. Super beer specials, great drinks, big screen TVs, and fun food all await you at Pia's. Whether it be Pia's delicious wings, the big pork tenderloin, or Pia's famous Grand Slam or Slugger Burger, you'll find all your favorites available until 11 p.m. Chill out at Pia's in the beer garden and enjoy being served by a great staff. See you at Pia's, Springfield and Mattis, Champaign.
Okay, so here's the other part. The Democratic Party has so many different How do you go with a Jewish man like Josh Shapiro from Pennsylvania if you've got such an anti-Jewish faction within the party, I think?
I think Kamala covers the anti-Jewish because she's kind of stood up for the Palestinians.
Yeah.
But you
well,
got,
the
in
college
fact, I
campus
think
protests and things like that are something you're looking at, I guess.
I think Shapiro balances that out on the ticket. I mean, you have to have the people that are pro-Jewish vote too. That's part of the Democratic Party. It's just like politics. You got to try to encompass as many people as you can. And again, I think the main issue that the Democrats are looking at is 270 electoral votes.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that matters. So it does sound like if he's 60% popular in Pennsylvania, that could swing that state, which is going to be close no matter what.
Yep.
And that could make the difference in who wins the presidency. So forget what they'll take him.
Here are some Kamala Harris clips I've kept, but I don't even know what they say.
Oh, boy.
I pulled them up today, just grabbed them.
And it is with this understanding, this vision, to see what can be unburdened by what has been.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know? What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
All right, so you're one of the smartest guys I've ever met. You said that's a shame. But what does that mean?
Yeah. It means that don't get stuck on what's happened in the past. Let's move forward. It's great. She's using it. I mean, she's got something
that's her catchphrase right now.
Yeah, it's catchy. So give it to her because I don't know what else she's got. She got to work on another one.
She has this.
Okay. The governor and I, and we were all doing a tour of the library here and talking about the significance of the passage of time.
As long as the roots are not severed, all is well, and all will be well in the garden.
Right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs.
In a garden, growth has its season. First comes spring and summer, but then we have fall and winter. And then we get spring and summer again.
And there is such great significance to the passage of time when we think about a day in the life of our children.
Okay, and I'm not sure what this is either, so stand by.
What's your response to a bunch of Americans? Hold on. Slow down, everybody.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
He has surrendered to the Taliban. I mean, that's really what the Secretary of State's explaining. That they've surrendered. And the Taliban now...
That's Newt talking about something else. Okay, one more thing. Again, this is kind of off the cuff.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
So she uses that a lot.
You know?
Yeah.
She understood what was possible, unburdened by what has been.
Okay, so again, move forward. Don't worry about the past.
If you don't like that, then vote for Marianne Williamson.
I like Chauncey Gardner from Being There, that movie with... See, first comes...
Being There.
Wasn't that Peter Sellers?
Yeah.
Peter Sellers.
Summer and fall.
I was looking at Peter Lorre.
Then comes winter and spring. And then comes summer and fall. And that's... Somehow they call it a word salad. You get kind of wrapped up in stuff. And then the laugh is a nervous... on the spot, kind of put her on the spot. She's going to laugh a little bit.
I used to do that when I was called to the principal's office once.
Start laughing?
Yes.
Yeah, probably didn't appreciate that.
No.
Probably not. Anyway, so we will see what comes forward. We think we've thrown out every name possible that the Democrats could come up with, but maybe not.
And I think you do need to just, if you're interested, pay attention to if and when Obama's support Kamala Harris. And so
that'd be huge.
Yeah,
that endorsement.
That's kind of a milestone.
And he's already said we ought to go to the convention. So I don't know if that's coming.
Look, they're not gonna go through all of this. And,
The other side of this, except for Kamala, if you pull somebody out, they've not been, quote, vetted. Not like these guys get vetted. There's nothing on Donald Trump that we don't know, right? Nothing.
Pretty much.
Okay, so maybe J.D. Vance, maybe there'd be something there, but they've done their opposition stuff on him pretty heavily. But I mean, you can't just pop.
Well, you've got the governor of California and Illinois. You can find out plenty about,
but
them.
not to the level. Those guys go crazy on everything you did in your life.
But you can't even talk. That's kind of the theory. You're right. But we've got Kamala Harris. Can she win or not? If they determine no, they're just. What difference does it make?
How are they going to know?
Well, they may be able to get her over the hump. I don't think she can win that election against Trump. But in other words, I'll settle. You'll take Kamala.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So one last thing before we break for the news. Come back for the last segment of the morning. Welcome to text in on the Fisher National Bank text line 217-359-2255. All phone guests on the show appear on the Tapman's Toy and phone line. Somebody in Hollywood said, "I've got your guy for the Democrats."
Okay.
His name is Mitt Romney.
Okay.
Too moderate for the progressives.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Again, how old is he?
Mitt's what, 69, 70?
He's all right as far
he's
as
not too
that
old.
goes.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, look, there's...
He's 77.
Is Mitt Romney 77?
See?
He looks pretty good.
We need people to be under 70. I'm sorry.
Doesn't smoke or drink.
Well, I can still run because...
boom, you're in your 60s.
I'll be 69 even on January 20th for 4 more days.
There we go. We need to cap the age on this.
All right, coming back with more of your texts as we go. It's Monday. Wow, what a newsworthy day.
Mm-hmm.
No lack of material for any talk show.
July 22nd.
Talk shows are eating it up with all the stuff we have here. 8:30, back in just a moment after this from Fox News.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. Vice President Harris is rounding up support to run for president with her boss dropping out of the race.
The president endorsed his vice president. She says she will earn the party's nomination. President Biden won more than 3,800 delegates by nearly sweeping his party's primaries and caucuses. But with him now out of the race, those pledged delegates are free to vote for any candidate who emerges. The DNC had planned to nominate President Biden ahead of the party's convention with a virtual roll call in early August.
Fox's Jared Halpern, Trump senior campaign advisor Jason Miller.
Kamala Harris was the chief enabler for all of this. So there are some real answers that are owed to the American public here. What did Kamala Harris know, and when did she know it?
He was on Fox and Friends. Former President Trump suggests the Republican Party should be compensated for time and money spent running against President Biden. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Illinois is setting the framework for the new environmental protections in the state. The governor signed a landmark bill into law that creates nation-leading standards for safety and environmental protection for carbon capture. The measure will also drive investments in Illinois, creating hundreds of jobs as companies are incentivized to move carbon capture to Illinois. Illinois EPA holding 10 household hazardous waste collections this fall. One-day collections open to all Illinois residents and operate from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. the day of the event. Events are going to be held throughout the state, including in Champaign, Taylorville, East Moline, Decatur, Bloomington, Oregon, Springfield, Dixon, Orland Park, and Carbondale. University of Illinois campus experiencing a significant network service interruption, and a Illini alert was sent out to students and faculty alerting them of the disruption. There was no estimate provided for when the network services were resolved. The interruption is not a cybersecurity incident, but rather a vendor software issue. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Urbana Park District's tradition is back this summer with their free Neighborhood Nights concerts between 6:30 and 8 at a different park each week with a different band. I'm Diane Ducey, your MC from Stevie Jay Broadcasting. The Park District will take care of you with free popcorn, lemonade, and water. Meet different groups and friends. Enjoy the great music every Wednesday, 6:30 to 8 at different parks throughout the summer. Find out more about Neighborhood Nights at urbanaparks.org.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign and Van Eves Saturday. No major weather headlines this week. Pretty quiet, uneventful, par for the course, typical. Mid-July and mid-summertime weather for Eastern Illinois, the Twin Cities. Into next week, a little more heat and humidity beginning to show on up. Amazingly, for now, the tropics of the Atlantic Basin remain quiet, and any rainfall around here remains iffy and spotty at best. So opportunities to dry and firm the backyards, the back 40s as well. Get caught up a little outdoor work, or perhaps just swing it away on the old golf course too. 82 today with a rain chance of 20% this afternoon. Gone by this evening with an overnight low down to 62, turning partly sunny again tomorrow afternoon. Isolated shower thunderstorm chance and a high around 86 and a light west-southwest wind. Slightly better odds with a weak front pushing through the area Wednesday afternoon. 50-50 in the rainfall chances with a high of around 85 and a partly sunny sky with a couple of showers and thunderstorms again for the afternoon. Dry Thursday, Friday into the weekend with highs in the low to mid 80s. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
All right, so she likes Venn diagrams. Is there anything wrong with that? Venn diagrams, the little circles.
Fine, it's a good way to illustrate things.
Of all in which you live and what came before you. I love Venn diagrams, so I just do. Whenever you're dealing with conflict, pull out a Venn diagram, right? And so, the three circles. And so I asked my team, right? They're fantastic.
Out right now.
Think of it then in the context of, I like to think about a lot of things in the context of a Venn diagram. I love Venn diagrams. Always ask, is there a Venn diagram for this? I'm telling you. About the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
All right, so we'll see how she does here. She tries to lobby and make this a hammer. What happens to the 14 million people that voted for Joe Biden? Have they been betrayed?
Well, it's, you can pull out. Johnson did it. Here's to recap. The Democratic strategy, which was to neutralize Donald Trump, completely backfired. He's much more popular than ever. The assassination attempt definitely lowered the intensity of the Trump derangement syndrome to some extent for some people. So now the Democrats have to switch strategies. And they're kind of faced today with running a candidate who has a less approval rating than Joe and polls about the same.
And as part of the policies that I believe got us here where we are today.
Which will become an issue as we get into the campaign. Right now, it's been good. I think that's a plus for the Democrats. We're distracted by the personalities and who's running and this is and that's, and nobody's talking about the inflation and the border and everything as much. But that'll come back, and she's going to have a hard time defending it. So I think we'll see another candidate for the Democrats.
Well, and again, that's who does Barack Obama want? I mean, remember when Anita Rice?
No.
Sounds right.
Rice.
I can't.
She left.
I keep thinking of Anne Rice. She wrote all the
vampire books.
Yeah, vampire books. She lives in New Orleans. Or
the woman that left it said it was
Susan Rice.
Susan Rice.
Yeah.
So was she being prepped for this position?
No.
President?
I think Michelle would be the first choice for the Democratic leaders, the elite who have to pick. I don't know that she'll be a candidate. And then I'm going to still go with the governor of Illinois, who has the funding. I think he's a good candidate. I think he doesn't have a lot of negatives. Nobody knows that much about him, but he's got a big job, governor of Illinois. So I think that, and nobody's really talked about him much.
Well, when his wife took the private jet down to her compound at the horse compound in Florida, and a reporter dared ask him about it during COVID, he called it despicable.
Yeah.
You would ask that question.
Well, but look at Newsom. He's out at the restaurant when he tells everybody to stay home with their
right.
So, that's worse than JB. So I think he's a dark horse.
JB Pritzker, if you sat with him, you'd probably really enjoy. He's affable. He's very conversational.
He's likable. He's got instant funding because he has independent wealth, similar to Trump. But he's got $500 million or $1 billion if he.
But how left is he? How far?
He's very progressive.
Okay.
Yes.
So nothing would change. Border would be open. Crime would stay. I mean,
at least it would stay the same. But he speaks, and the Democrats could win with him. I don't know how many people they could win with, because he's well enough to know, but he's not got the negatives. So
Well, we don't know. I mean, he hasn't been, quote, vetted like this.
Well, he's not. No one's going to get that vetted. They got 100 days, so you got to get someone. At least they don't have to unvet like Newsom. Newsom's problem is he got a lot of baggage with California.
Yeah,
but
California's going great according to him.
Right. So are we. So border sealed. So.
I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine why anybody except a far left progressive would think the open borders are a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think most of us believe that, but I don't know why you would not take that into maybe priority consideration when you decide who to vote for.
I mean, when Trump came down the escalator and suggested there'd be rapists and murderers that would be coming across, they just jumped him like crazy.
Well, and they are coming across. Most aren't like that. We understand that, but that's one of the problems.
Yeah.
It's the biggest problem with that is the drugs, actually.
Man.
And that's been impacting everybody across this country. And it would be reduced if we didn't have that open border. It wouldn't shut it down, but good grief. They're just coming across with tons of it.
And while this has been a problem for a very long time, coming up with a coherent immigration policy, you look at the chart that ironically saved his life when he looked at the chart that he had in Butler, Pennsylvania on that July 13th. He turned his head enough to get nicked in the ear, not in the head, and not hit in the head.
Yeah, that chart's interesting.
That chart's way down when he was president and way up now.
Which will for tomorrow, I think we'll find some numbers of the influx the last 6 months of Trump. Because I've heard several people say the border is the same as it was for the last 20 years. Trump did no better than, and that's not true.
No.
He was significantly lower when Trump was working on the wall. And remember, every step of the way he had to fight to get money for the wall because the Democrats had Congress, and he called it a security military operation and took some out of the defense budget to use for the wall.
No, Mexico paid for it, right?
Well, the check might have cleared. Didn't he say the check finally cleared
I think so,
or something
like that? Listen, there's people that don't like Donald Trump don't think so, but there's a lot of things he says that I find quite funny. And his just exaggeration, that's his nature, that he does exaggerate. I mean, when he says stuff like, it would take one phone call. I mean, okay.
No, it's true. He's funny.
But when he says stuff like that, I don't know if that's going to happen with one phone call. Are you going to stop Vladimir Putin with a phone call?
Right.
That'd be amazing, but it's hard to believe that.
When you were talking about some of the major problems, I did an online search, and it says the top of the list is government and poor leadership, then immigration, economy in general, high cost of living, inflation, poverty, hunger, homelessness, federal budget deficit, federal debt. Then comes, and these are like 4% now, abortion, elections, unifying the country, foreign policy and focus on things overseas, war in the Middle East, and ethics and family decline.
So if abortion is 4%, why is that their number one thing for Kamala?
That's all they got.
Yeah.
So I don't think that'll swing it for her. But of course, it was the poor leadership.
Yes.
So that's like 90%, probably agree. And then you've got the border.
Yeah.
So that's an important issue. Kamala's the border czar. She was in charge of the border.
Yeah.
She didn't go to the border. She didn't go to Europe, I guess. But Europe doesn't need a border. We got the ocean. We're talking about our border. Anyway, she'll just have a real hard time on those issues that you just named.
There are a number of women that I've seen online that do an amazing Kamala impression. Aren't they rooting? Because they'll have a lot of speaking gigs.
Yeah, that's right.
It would be so funny.
No, like I said, I'm pulling for 500 delegates is a long way from 1900.
Yeah.
She got to.
Well,
if I'll call some people.
It would be disturbing to not have the big people in the party, as we mentioned earlier: President Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Dick Durbin, And Hakeem Jeffries have not endorsed Kamala Harris, and she's going to try and get their endorsement. But President Obama has already said we should have an open
Well, remember, it's been less than 24 hours, so give them a chance.
Okay.
And so I don't know. The open convention has its own negatives, which could just be an absolute free-for-all.
How do you cover that? How do you get information to report on that? That is going to be
They'll
interesting.
be in there.
They're going to be at United Center and McCormick Place.
Right.
Can they secure all of that from protesters?
Well,
They're cleaning up the homeless camps now, was the story last
Well,
Friday.
that would speak to going with Kamala. In other words, okay, it's going to be rough. We can get her in because that all goes away.
With Kamala?
If they show up and say, that's what we're going to do, the protesters probably go away because they kind of like her.
Yeah.
She bailed them out of jail, Steve. That's another question she'll have to
So
address.
she'll tell them to chill.
During the riots of 2020,
Yeah.
she was raising money to bail the protesters, arsonists in many
We were talking about
cases.
Antifa and Black Lives Matter.
Well, just the ones that were violent
Yeah.
and arrested,
Yeah.
and she was bailing them out. You could say, well, they hadn't been tried yet. Okay, well, they haven't bailed out the January 6th ones yet. So, but that's something she'll have to talk about. So, but I don't think there'll be protests if they go with her. I'm pulling for her.
Can't
Come on,
imagine what a
Kamala,
life
Kamala.
changed in 24 hours like her life has changed. Now she has to really kind of reintroduce herself to America.
Well, she's been I think she was kind of a heads up, Kamala, because she's been out doing pretty well, actually, the last month.
Yeah. All right, 8:44.
Find the look you love for less at Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Explore their wide selection of quality pieces, from cozy sofas to exquisite dining sets from all the top name brands. With personalized service and expert advice, their team makes finding the perfect piece effortless. Create the home of your dreams with Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Exceptional customer service and the best prices since 1959. Stop by today or visit them online at kelseyfurniture.com.
I've got to clean out this garage. Let's see. What's the cheapest and easiest dumpster service in our area?
Here's what I found. The doggy bag.
Think she's broken. I'm not looking for takeout. Siri, try again.
The doggy bag from Bulldog Disposal in Mahomet.
Doggy bag? What's that?
If you got junk that needs to go, but you don't want the hassle of having an enormous dumpster delivered, grab a doggy bag, keep it as long as you need. They'll come take it away. For more information, just visit bulldoggybag.com.
That's bulldoggybag.com.
Hola amigos, this is Cardinals broadcaster Polo Asensio, inviting you to join us on Sunday, July 28th, when the Cardinals host the Washington Nationals. On this day, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will take home a Cardinals polo. No, not me. A polo shirt featuring an STL all over print design. Thanks to Busey Bank. This is the first promo of its kind, so it's one you don't want to miss. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
Tapman's Towing reminds all Illini fans, when you're on the road and see lights flashing, move over and use caution passing. Let's all get home safe tonight.
Yeah, I guess you can say, people are supporting Kamala Harris until they're not. I mean, there are a lot of people. I mean, Chuck Schumer said, I'm with Joe, smile. I'm with Joe, smile, till he wasn't.
Yeah.
So it's just the way that works. Let's check sports headlines.
St. Louis Cardinals beat Atlanta 6-2. They've got a game against Pittsburgh later on this afternoon. And you'll hear the action on ESPN 93.5.
4:45.
Thank you for that.
Pregame.
Cubs over Arizona 2-1. Cubs.
They lost 2 out of 3 at home. Cubs in last place with Cincinnati, so yikes. Let's go.
Kansas City over the Chicago White Sox 4-1. Kansas City Royals take that series. Xander Schauffele is the champion golfer at the Open. We had Kyle Larson and the Brickyard 400 over in Indy get the checkered flag. And the All-Star WNBA beats Team USA 117-109. So that has people thinking, wonder how the All-Stars feel about beating Team USA. Everything starts up, I believe, in Paris on Friday.
Yep, opening ceremony is going to be fun. All right, we'll come back and get Greg's forecast one more time.
Looking for the best deal on your next vehicle? Visit Sarah Champagne, where your dream car awaits. From sleek sedans to rugged SUVs, they've got it all. Their unbeatable prices and exceptional customer service make car buying a breeze. Plus, with their hassle-free financing options, driving off in your new ride has never been easier. Sarah Champagne, Honda, BMW, Subaru, Buick, GMC. Visit them today. Sarah, S-E-R-R-A, Champagne.com.
This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. We are honored to be celebrating 15 years of service and want to thank all of our amazing clients for their confidence and trust. We look forward to meeting the needs of current and future clients in the years to come. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for you. Central Illinois, Champaign, Van Avis. Saturday turning partly sunny as the day wears on for the day today. Matter of fact, same for the day tomorrow and into Wednesday too. And nothing too impressive on the weather maps and charts regarding any significant heat or humidity or rainfall chances. Pretty quiet the way we'll sum it up here for this week, mid-summertime across East Central Illinois, the Twin Cities up to 82 today. The rain chance at 20% this afternoon, winding down by early this evening with a light north wind. Otherwise, a fair to partly cloudy sky in the overnight tonight, down to 62. Once again, turning partly sunny for tomorrow afternoon. An isolated shower thunderstorm may spring up, the high at around 86. 60s for lows tomorrow night, partly sunny up to 85. The rain chance a little higher by Wednesday afternoon with the front approaching to the north, a high up near 85. That front stalls out, moves back to the north, up to 82 on Thursday. We're dry there, dry for the weekend with low to mid 80s, nights in the 60s. A little more heat and humidity with temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s for Sunday and Monday of next week with no rain in the forecast. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Illini pizza fans, Jets Pizza has been making the best pizza on the planet for 40 years. They've always been committed to quality, like hand-pressed dough, fresh mozzarella, and sauce made from Mama Jet's secret family recipe. All baked to perfection. It takes more work, but take one bite and you'll get it. Right now, enjoy 3 types of pepperoni with the new Triple-Roni Pizza for just $16.99. And this is a limited-time deal, so visit jetspizza.com. And don't forget to flavorize your crust for free, like their famous Turbo Crust. Jets, better because it has to be.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
I want to mention you can still get to El Toro in West Springfield. They got a whole staff there that trying to stay employed because the road's shut. So that from Kenwood down to Duncan, El Toro's sitting right there in the middle. But if you drive toward the barricades, there's a driveway you can drive into El Toro. They got a bunch of people. They got a lot of room. You're not going to wait, and the food is fantastic. El Toro, West Springfield, Champaign for the next 5 months. You can get in. Don't be afraid. You can't enter from the west. You have to just come as you're driving west on Springfield.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get in. Okay.
Right across from Kaufman Lake.
All right, so Illinois football in a month and a week.
All right.
I don't know what we got, but I'm excited to see.
We got a good coach.
Yep.
Yes, and EIU on August 29th at 8 o'clock. That's a Thursday night game.
Eastern's always good.
Mm-hmm.
Man, oh, man.
And then we got Kansas for family weekend.
Beat me by 30 last year.
I'm glad they're coming over here.
September 7th, that's a Saturday at 6 p.m.
What about the Red Grange game? We got Michigan in town.
And that game will be October 19th.
It's a big one.
And we don't know the time yet.
And then we go to Oregon. That's easy. Layup. Pound those suckers.
We do have Central Michigan as our homecoming game.
September.
But early this year,
Yeah.
September 14th at 11 a.m.
If we can go to 3-0, we'll get to 6. We have to beat Kansas here. Well, by the way, we got to beat Eastern and Central Michigan.
Yes, that's right.
Well, Central Michigan has disappointed us in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we just got to be ready to play football.
Absolutely. Go Illini.
Then the question is what Brad Underwood can put together with three guys projected in next year's NBA draft.
Okay. Well,
what? That's never happened.
But you can go back to just to give you some perspective on Brad's job. Look at our Olympic team right now. Mm-hmm. Those are 10 of the best basketball players who's ever lived.
Steph Curry, LeBron James.
And they're
Kevin
having
Durant.
a hard time putting that 5-on-5 team together, knowing what each guy's going to do and how to move the ball the best. And in 6 months, no one could beat them. But in 1 month, that it's tough. And Brad doesn't have that much time to get this team together, like so many other coaches now in the NCAA college scene.
Yeah.
But I think he'll do pretty well.
But to win the most Big Ten basketball games in the last 6 years, it's Brad Underwood. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Really.
I'm not that surprised. He gets some playing, and I think he's gonna have his challenge is going to be enough playing time for enough of these good guys.
Yeah,
how do you?
right.
There's only so many minutes.
Yeah, right.
And you can't completely disrupt the rhythm. Do you do platoons? Well, just two different teams.
Like an NBA thing, maybe. Huh? All right. Well, are you in tomorrow? Are you still around?
I will be in tomorrow.
Excellent.
That'll be it for a bit.
And
Huh?
we'll have
Always
to wait
fun when
till
you
the
come visit
convention.
us.
Yeah, I like
Johnny.
being here. It's fun talking about these
Great
things.
having Brother
Champaign
Johnny.
County Fair's going
Yep.
on. Might want to stop by.
No
All right.
kidding. It's always fun.
Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Diane.
Enjoy the day.
I'm Stevie J. Thanks for listening. ESP on 93.5. Thanks. We'll talk tomorrow. Have a great Monday.
Ow! A spring just hit me.
Mom, the couch is broken again.
It's about time we get rid of that clunky couch and look into buying a new one.
What about two men in a junk truck? Their professional moving team does a great job assisting with downsizing, home renovations, and clearing out old items you need hauled away.
Wow, it sounds like it'll make much more space in this house once the couch is hauled away.
I just pulled it up on my phone. You can schedule an appointment online at twomeninajuncktruck.com.
Get the rock star treatment at Golden Nugget Danville and jam out with your cut of up to $400,000 every Saturday through the end of August. One lucky winner will be selected every half hour from 4 to 11 p.m. to spin and win up to $1,000 cash. Earn entries now through August 31st. Not valid for any participant of the Illinois Gaming Board statewide voluntary self-exclusion program. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
Looking for the perfect pair of boots? Come on down to Pard's Western Shop in Urbana. With an amazing selection that fits every style, Pard's has the perfect pair waiting for you the next time you're hitting the rodeo or stepping out in style. They've got great deals and sale prices on men's cowboy boots, girls' cowgirl boots, and kids' boots. And their friendly staff will make sure you leave with the boots you love. Pard's Western Shop, serving its customers with high-quality merchandise since 1968. Go see them today at 306 North Maple Street in Urbana.
Why use Lands Underground Solutions? We have the team, the technology, the tools, and the most experienced team in the industry. From a basic sewer pipe repair to replacing a sewer main, installing a water line to installing a septic system, installing underground utilities for a new construction project to rehabilitating the old pipes under a school. Lands has the most versatile and experienced team in the industry. Residential, commercial, and industrial, when it comes to your underground pipes, think Lands Underground Solutions. Why call anyone else?
When it comes to finding a reliable vehicle, look no further than Sarah Champagne, your trusted automotive destination. They carry a lineup of top brands including Honda, BMW, Subaru, GMC, and Buick. And they're not just about cars, they're about people. Their team is dedicated to providing you with trustworthy service and dependable vehicles that fit your lifestyle. Experience the difference at Sarah Champagne. Visit Sarah, Serra, Champagne.com. When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is right here in Champaign-Urbana to help you select the right protection at the right price. Kurt will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. Just call him when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Your favorite Mexican restaurant, El Toro on West Springfield in Champaign, is still open 7 days a week despite the construction on West Springfield. If you're craving those mouthwatering Mexican dishes, just enter from the east. When you see the barricade at Springfield and Kenwood, look for their special driveway. It'll guide you straight to El Toro. El Toro will be serving up your favorites all through the construction for the next 5 months. Open daily and ready to welcome you. El Toro, your destination for authentic Mexican cuisine, even during construction.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Tim Onstadt, GFT, Gale Frericks Trucking, and Dedicated Diesel. All right, so Gale Frericks Trucking, could you use some regional drivers?
Yeah, we've got a couple of spots for regional drivers, and right now we're starting a push to pick up some of those regional drivers that may want to be home a little more in the fall, whether they got kids playing football or whatever. We've got 4 spots for grain haulers in the fall, and of course those are going to go. First pick of those will go to guys that are on a regional group. So if you want to be around home and drive in the fall and haul grain, get on board now. $4,000 sign-on bonus, $1,200 a week guaranteed, and that will carry through to the fall on the